We want you guys to get a little taste of Speaker Pelosi this morning as she was signing that final fix-it bill. She was enrolling the bill to send it to President Obama now that both the Senate and the House has passed that final piece of healthcare legislation. It is, of course, also her 70th birthday. Here's a little bit.
Happy birthday, dear Speaker. Happy birthday to you.
Can you imagine a more important birthday privilege than to be signing health care for all?
David, no better birthday present for Speaker Pelosi.
I don't know. She said she wants a pool table. I don't see that on there.
She's asking for a lot this week. She already got her big present, I think. We're joined now by Dan Balz of the Washington Post. Thank you so much for being with us today. So, Dan, Democrats are certainly trying to spin this as they have the momentum now coming out of this historic health care vote. Is that true? Do you think
well,
they do?
I think we don't know yet whether they really have real momentum. They certainly have a much better feeling having gotten across the goal line of passing health care. But I think it remains to be seen whether that has really turned the politics of the country. I mean, this debate has been so divisive. In some ways, it has so divided the country that people are dug in on this. And I think it may take some time for us to really know how things are shifting, if they are.
But we were able to see a Democratic Party that at least seemed prepared to turn on a dime this week after playing so much defense and try to play a lot of offense on it.
Well, I think that turn, David, actually came a little before the passage. I mean, I think that turn came sometime post-Massachusetts and Scott Brown's victory when the president, certainly with the advice of Speaker Pelosi, basically said, we are going to do this. We're going to do it fully. We are not going to try to scale it back. We are not going to be able to do a deal with the Republicans. It was, I think, at that point that he began to find his voice on it. He took ownership of this. So I think that pivot occurred then, and they've been determined to get it done. Having gotten it done, they now believe they can argue about something concrete instead of having to fight off charges about something that may or may not happen.
I mean, it's the ultimate look back, 2020, of course, but if the president had done that earlier, could this have happened earlier? If he had had that same attitude post Scott Brown's victory?
It's such an interesting question, and we and historians will be wrestling with that for a long, long time. I mean, there was certainly a point at which he or someone should have shut off the negotiations in the Senate Finance Committee earlier. There's no question that this dragged on a very long time. There is an axiom about healthcare policy that speed matters, and the longer anything goes on, no matter who's involved in it, the more difficult it is to get it done. And so they should have made a decision sometime last summer to cut those negotiations off. They didn't. They paid a price for that.
They were addicted to that idea of maybe Olympia Snow will
Maybe
come along.
Olympia Snow.
Olympia. I want to turn to the McCain-Palin reunion out in Arizona this weekend.
Love it.
He now is in need of her. He needs her to be sort of the bridge to the conservative wing of the party.
It is such an ironic turn of events to see the situation he's in, and clearly he knows he's in a very difficult fight. He's changed his posture this year, last year as a result of that. But for him to now be reliant on her to speak to a base that has never been comfortable with him, frankly, though in Arizona he's always done well. But I mean, symbolically, John McCain has always been at odds with the Republican base, and now Sarah Palin becomes the person who may be able to save him from that.
Well, the last time they
remarkable.
were together in Arizona, she wasn't allowed to speak. Now there she is, certainly headlining this event. Yeah. What does he want her to say? What does he want her to get across in this speech today?
Well, one, he wants just simply the visual.
Yeah.
He with her. But secondly, he wants her to say that John McCain is an authentic conservative, that if you are conservative, you can trust John McCain with the country, as she did in the campaign. For all the talk about her going rogue, she was very loyal about asserting that John McCain was the conservative that conservatives ought to support, and she needs to do that again.
She goes from there, Dan, to do a Tea Party rally in the hometown of Harry Reid in Searchlight, Nevada. In our final 30 seconds here, explain to me, how is the GOP doing, do you think, with this conundrum of harnessing that energy of the Tea Party movement without being swallowed by it?
Well, they're wrestling with it. They wrestle with it day by day. With every incident that sort of puts them in jeopardy, that makes it look as though the Tea Party or the fringe elements of the party are kind of the tail wagging the dog, they have to do something. And I thought it was notable this week that they stood up and spoke out strongly against some of the violence that is some of the talk about it. But there's no question that it is an uneasy relationship.
Dan Balz of the Washington Post, thank you very much for being here. Coming up this week, Sunday, with Jake Tapper, his guest, Valerie Jarrett, exclusive guest, senior White House advisor. He'll also be joined by Governors Haley Barbour and Ed Rendell. Sorry for our technical difficulties with the lighting here. We'll get that fixed up by the time we come back on Monday.
Setting some mood for Friday, I think. It's a nice way to end the week.
Click us on again on Monday.
Thanks for watching.